Indian Muslim couple beaten to death over son's romantic relationship. In a shocking incident in Uttar Pradesh, India, a Muslim couple was brutally beaten to death with iron rods and sticks by their neighbors due to their son Shaukat's romantic relationship with their neighbor's daughter, who is from the Hindu faith. According to Sitapur Superintendent of Police Chakresh Mishra, the violent altercation stemmed from the long-standing tension between the two families. In 2020, Shaukat eloped with the neighbor's daughter, who was then a minor, leading to his imprisonment for almost 3 years. He was arrested on August 16th, and although the young woman had since been married off to another man, she eloped once again to be with Shaukat, further enraging her family. Quote, the girl eloped from her husband's house and got married to Shaukat. Another FIR, which is a formal police complaint, was filed against him in April 2023. However, the girl was an adult by then and told the court that she wanted to live with Shaukat, Mishra said. The deadly confrontation occurred when a 5 member gang, including the woman's father, confronted the couple at their home. Quote, the accused came to my house and started beating my mother and father with the intention of killing them, stated the couple's daughter in the FIR. 3 suspects have been arrested, and the search for 2 others continued, heightening tensions in the community. So, for this story, there isn't a lot of details that are available about this case. And I'm going to be clear. So, a lot of people, like D included some comments on social media. And in the comments, there were people on social media saying that this is the proper way to deal with love jihad. So, they're framing this as love jihad. And um, basically, I just completely lost my train of thought. Oh my God. So, for those who don't know, love jihad is a conspiracy theory within India about Muslim men purposely like hiding their faith from Hindu women that they then go seduce and then marry and then reveal that they're actually Muslim and then force their wives to convert to Islam so that the kids are going to be Islamic and then this is going to do like replacement theory basically in India, right? This is the thinking. And so they're accusing this of being a case of love jihad. Um there are a few details in this case that I'm going to be honest could potentially change my opinion on this situation. So, one of them being that this apparently they had a relationship and attempted to elope when the first time when this girl was still a minor. Now, it's not clear to me how old she was at the time. I couldn't find a record of that and what the age difference between the couple is. Because if it's like, I believe, and okay, I know the age of marriage has recently changed in India, but when this incident happened in 2020, I don't think the age had changed yet. And I think the age of marriage at that time was 18 for women and 21 for men. And then recently they changed the age of marriage, so now it's 21 for both men and women. Um, People can correct me in the live chat if I'm wrong. So thinking back to that time, if the boy was like, I don't know, eight, maybe like 18 or something, and she was like 16, 17, and they tried to run away, because that's when she would still be considered a minor, right? Um, that seems like a very like Romeo and Juliet kind of a situation, because they're peers. But if there was a substantial age difference between them and this happened when she was a minor, um, I think that's way, way, way more problematic. However, based on the information I've been able to find in English, yeah, D is saying this was labeled a kidnapping at the time. But here's the thing. A lot of couples that are in completely consensual relationships in India get accused of kidnapping and one partner gets arrested and the willing couple gets returned to their family because they're marrying against their parents' wishes. This is a common thing. This is a known issue. To the point that I think it was in Tamil Nadu that legislators explicitly put in clauses saying that if there are, like, for example, 2 lesbians that want to live together, you can't file kidnapping cases against the other person because they're adults and they're consensually allowed to live against each other. Like it's known even on a governmental level that this is a tactic that families use, right? So how much credence do you actually put into the kidnapping claim? It's hard to know. So I personally have a question about like this thing about her being a minor. What is the age difference between this couple at the time? Knowing that information could potentially change some of how I feel about this case.
I mean,
Um,
regardless how we feel about them, the parents, like they didn't. What did they do?
well, exactly. That's exactly what I was about to say. The issue would still be with that person's behavior. It shouldn't be taken out on the entire family.
I mean that. I mean, I think that's completely secondary to the main thing that is happening here. Like they beat to death the father and the mother over the thing that the son did. I mean, I'm trying to imagine
They
they
were
beat them.
trying to get the son. And I think they tried based on because he gave a report. He had a statement that I read that said basically that he ran away when his parents were knocked unconscious. So he was there when it happened.
Okay, I want you to picture an old husband and wife, and these people just enter their house, and it says with iron rods and sticks. Do you know what's slow, how hard of a death that is? Like, imagine their son, imagine over, like, these are the last moments of their lives, and there's a mob of people over their head and just beating the crap out of them with iron rods. Do you understand how painful of a death that is, people? This is, and over something that they didn't do. This is something over something that their son has done. This is nightmare. This is the stuff of nightmares. Imagine watching and not knowing what's going to happen to your son, and these are your last moments, and you're feeling extreme amount of pain and a very slow death over something that you didn't do. This is, I don't know, man. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So
It's
50-year
really
old Muslim. It's because
insane.
they're Muslim.
Okay,
God
but
damn
here's
it.
the thing. I don't even if we're being completely honest, this is not this is not exclusive to a Hindu versus Muslim thing. This
Mm.
kind of behavior happens with couples that are gay. This happens with couples that have different castes. These kinds of
Yeah, well, I mean,
disagreements, this kind of beating, it's a form of
yeah,
honor
but
violence that happens within many different strata within society. It's
okay,
not
but that
exclusively Hindu versus Muslim.
yeah, but saying it's because they're Muslim, that doesn't mean it's exclusive to Muslims, right? When it happens to
Mhm.
LGBT, it's because they're LGBT. When it happens to lower caste people, it's because they're lower caste. It's when it happens to, often, not always. When it happens to Muslim families, it's because they're Muslim. Okay, saying that, oh, these people were beaten to death because they're lower caste is not a claim that this exclusively happens to lower caste, obviously. So that's not what I'm saying. I'm just
Yeah.
saying this happened to them because they were Muslim. And yeah, so this is in, oh my god. And guys, I should keep saying this every time we have news from India, okay? Because I think some people just don't get it. We are not anti India, okay? We are pro India. India is going to succeed. India is going to become a economic superpower. India is going to lead is currently and will continue to lead a tech revolution globally. um India, as much as some people in the live chat make it seem otherwise, is a Western ally. It's a country that United States and the other Western countries absolutely need as a way to make sure that they make sure that China and Russia are not. Oh yeah, also that. so, so so we are pro India. If we are highlighting nonsense from India, is because we love India and we think that as great as India is, it's not meeting its full potential. So imagine how much greater India would have been if it met its full potential. All of the vast majority of the reasons why India is not meeting its full potential is Hinduism. Hinduism is holding India back. India is great, but India could have been so much greater without Hinduism, especially because of the caste system. The greatest asset of India, it's people. The people of India. Like some countries have oil, some countries have, a lot of trade routes. India has something that most countries would love to have more of, which is amazing people. And you know what's holding that back? The caste system. The caste system, which is Hinduism. All of this bigotry, all of this genocidal attitudes, and the caste system is all Hinduism. If the caste system is holding millions and millions and millions of people in India back from reaching their full potential. So imagine how many more years India would have been ahead if it wasn't for Hinduism. And yeah, this is a great meme, um, to show like, yeah, to show like the people. Susie, where are you? Explain this meme. This is great. It's like, you have the flag on the moon. You have the moon on your flag, but India actually lands on the actual moon compared to Pakistan. This is
Oh,
such
yeah.
a such
Well,
a
this was
own on
just
Pakistan.
I while we were talking
Yeah.
about it, it reminded me that we should celebrate India for the moon landing, which was, like, so historic and a giant accomplishment for all of humanity, really, coming
Right.
from none other than India. And this was just a meme that I saw on Twitter that I thought was hilarious for those who are only
Mm.
listening. It shows the Pakistani flag, which has the Islamic moon on it, except there's a little India flag on the moon.
Yeah, it's
With a
such
rocket.
an own. Like you guys have the moon on your flag. Well, we landed on the moon. You're like, yeah, this is such an own. This is fantastic. I love it.
But it's
Yeah.
not even about, like, because I don't want to make, like, further this, like, India versus Pakistan animosity, right? I
Right.
think it's more of
This
a
isn't is
statement it's more of a statement on the kinds of attitudes that bring you towards prosperity.
yeah, that's why I like that it's on the moon, because I see the moon is the Islam parts of Pakistan. So this is not an own on Pakistan. You're right. This is an own on Islam, right? This is science. This is not India versus Pakistan. This is not Hinduism versus Islam. This is science versus religion. That's how I see. That's how I like to see this, right?
Yeah.
Um, yeah. But also, I am so glad that Russia failed to land on the moon and India succeeded. I so badly wanted to India for India to beat Russia at this, okay? Because when it comes to, we are anti-Hinduism, but we are pro-India, and we think India is better without Hinduism, right? And India is, with all the nonsense that we see from India, India is still an ally of Western countries and pro democracy and pro secularism, and a force against, other global. So if I have to choose between Russia and India, I will always pick India over Russia. I was rooting for India, and I'm glad that imagine how far India has become, because we're talking about Russia, which was at less just a few decades ago. It was there were two superpowers, which was the Soviet Union and United States, right? And r- India has now defeated the former superpower in the space race. That's an amazing achievement, right? And I think this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning of India's potential. So we'll see. Do you know who makes the most amazing, gorgeous, and other adjectives that I can't use here on YouTube, blasphemous art ever? We do! And for some reason, we are giving it away for free. Download them now using the link in the description before we change our mind.